Before we start the clutch now, let's put the holder for that bearing in here. We'll lock that on the threads. First, that plate. See how it is? That side goes in there. Just a bit of oil. And now we have the clutch drum. You can see 3 gears here. This is to give movement to the oil pump. This is to give movement to the generator, which we're going to put later on. And this is what takes movement from the crankshaft and gives you all the power. Well, let's put that back on. Just a bit of oil. You have to put just the teeth in here and then push it inwards. And that's how it goes. And goes there. Leave it like that. Put that bearing in there. Let's replace it with a new one. Out with the old, in with the new. A bit of oil. Let's lift and place everything where it should be. Washer. And for the clutch, I choose to buy the Goodrich kit. This is the cord up there. Let's put the first plate in. Make sure it's full of oil both sides. Now we have to secure that in with a nut, and then the washer, which I'm going to replace with a new one. But first goes the spring washer, which is that. Can you notice the curve? It goes like this. That goes like that. So when it's being squashed, it pushes the nut outwards and it doesn't let it go. And the torque settings is 100 Newton meters. And this is the mistake I made. I put all the clutch plates onto the clutch basket and I didn't leave any space for the clutch tool to hold still the drum, and that way torque the nut. So I had to remove almost all the clutch plates, give some space to the clutch tool to hold it in place, and then I was able to torque the nut. So don't do my mistake. Telia. And the next thing we want to install is the plate, which consists of a few parts. Let me show you. That's the plate itself, but in here there is a washer, a thrust bearing, and the push rod. Now the thrust bearing I'm going to replace with that. Brand new here, the old one here. The old one walks away. A bit of oil here. Even though that's not a friction area, but still. Before we do that, we have to do that. Let's put that. It seems that you have to push a bit. $13 Newton meters. for the clutch cover, we have to replace on the axle the bearing and the seal with brand new ones. That's the bearing, that's the seal. Give it a good clean. That goes in here, and because no oil goes up there, put some grease. Perfect. Now there's a middle bearing in there, and I replaced that, but to replace this it took me ages. My best advice, do not replace it. The axle does only that movement, not even a quarter. How much damage can happen to that within 35 years? I don't think much. So, not worth it. That's where the axle goes. The clutch cover gasket, that's the code. Let's put the starter motor and let's replace that O-ring with that. And time to put the alternator. Of course we have a bit of oil or grease here, a bit of grease on that surface, and slowly let's push the alternator in there. Let's put the clutch lever, and I think it was facing that way. And I can safely say that the engine is ready to go on the chassis. Now I'm not going to put the carburetors on because I think I'm going to have a serious issue if I put them on how to connect the cable and everything, but that's going to happen after I put the engine on. And this is the engine all finished. As you can see, I applied a satin clear high heat all over the engine to make it look closer to the original color. The next step is to put a frame over the engine and start with front suspension, rear suspension, wheels, electronic components and everything else need to be done in order to start to look like a motorcycle again. Once again, thanks for watching. Look after yourselves and families. Until the next video, be well.